Hello, everybody. I'm Tony T. It's time for the NBA Rundown with Joseph Schultz, our top unit producer over at TonySpitz.com. Let's bring him in right now. Ready to talk. Ready to give some picks out here on this NBA card here, 8-game card here for Sunday. Joseph, what's happening?
How you doing, Tony?
Everything's going great. Doing great. All right, here we go. We got NBA here on the board. It never ends. So we're heading into March now, right?
Right.
All right. Let's get underway here with this NBA rundown. We started off here, a game here on ABC, features 76ers at the Mavericks here. The Mavericks going to be laying 8 in this one, total 237.5.
Okay, now Philly is just 5-8 since Embiid went down January 20th. They have played a murderer's row since returning from the break. Teams like the Knicks, the Cavs, the Bucks, the Celtics. They finally played a non-playoff team in the Charlotte Hornets, and they got the win, at home by 7 points. It wasn't that impressive. I kind of wanted to see a little more from them. But they now go back onto the road and play another playoff caliber team in the Dallas Mavericks, who are returning home after a 4-game East Coast trip. In theory, that is a fade spot for me when teams come back home, their first home game after being on the road a while. I do have some cause for pause after seeing how good the Mavs looked in a 7-game winning streak from February 5th to the 22nd, beating teams like the Knicks, the Suns, and the Thunder. Since then, they've come back to earth a little bit, though, going 1-3 in their last 4 games. Dallas beat the 76ers in Philly to start that 7-game winning streak in mid-February. So this is also a revenge spot for Philly. Until Dallas can be more consistent, I take the 8 points with the 76ers.
All right, Joseph Schultz finds the premium plays over at TonySpitz.com. Top unit producer for the year, 76ers and Mavericks. He says go ahead and take the 8 here with Philadelphia. All right, let's continue on here on the NBA rundown. Next up here, as we move the chains here, is a pretty good one. Warriors and the Celtics. ABC will televise 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Celtics big favorites here, laying 11, total 231.5.
Right. So, yeah, right. This should be a good game. Both teams come in hot. Boston winners of 10 straight, and the Warriors winners of 13 of their last 16 and 6 of their last 7. Their only loss in that 7-game stretch was to the Nuggets in a game where Steph shot just 6 for 21 and had 20 points. So they're not going to win very many games when he does that anyways, especially against a caliber team like the Nuggets. Boston is obviously the better team, the deeper team. They have pretty much a clean injury report. They should win this game, but we don't give out minus 575 money line bets, right? So the question is, are they going to win by the 11 points? Now, the thing with Boston is they are 8 games up on the next closest team in the Eastern standings, and they are a very 3-point reliant team. So they could get up. They could either get up 15 points, even 20 points in the second half, and take their foot off the gas and make sure to protect themselves from injury, or any team that relies so much on the 3-point, even though they shoot it so well, they can have an off game. So I definitely see the Celtics winning. I don't think I'm breaking news saying that, but the Warriors have been hot enough that I couldn't talk anyone off if they wanted to take the 11 with the Warriors. However, the way I see this is I don't want to try to catch a falling knife fading the Celtics at home, so I guess I just have to lay it.
All right, we got Joseph Schultz. Get his premium plays over at TonySpitz.com. Top unit producer here for 2024 and 2023. Warriors and Celtics, go ahead. He says lay the 11 here against the Golden State Warriors. All right, let's continue here on our NBA rundown here for Sunday's games. Next up, another good one here. Clippers and the Timberwolves going head-to-head here. We see the Clippers, the short road favorites here, 1.5, total 219.5.
The Clippers got a much-needed win last game out, granted in a cupcake matchup, but still a much-needed win after the complete collapse against the Lakers. They blew a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter. I can't get that out of my head because I went 4-1 that day with the NBA 5-pack, and that was the one loss. Um, yeah, they couldn't let something like that snowball. Now, they do face the West leading Timberwolves in a game that they absolutely need if they have aspirations of getting the number one seed. They are 3 games behind in for that number one seed. They just lost to them 121-100 on February 12th. The Clippers are just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games and 2-3 straight up in their last 5, only beating the Wizards and Grizzlies in those 5 games. So that's a little cause for concern. Minnesota has won 4 straight versus the Clippers and covered in all 4 of those games. In theory, this could be a quadruple revenge spot for the Clippers, but that's not really how I see it. Minnesota has won 3 out of the last 5, but only covered in 1 out of the last 5. But that's because they're getting to the point in the season where they're more concerned, similar to the Celtics, where they're more concerned with making it to the playoffs healthy. So they're starting to take their foot off the gas, less worried about blowing teams out than just getting the win and getting out of there healthy. But it's just such a short number. The Clippers have been inconsistent. Timberwolves at home, they if they want to keep the number one seed, they've got to win this game just as bad. So I'm going with the Timberwolves here.
All right, Joseph Schultz. Find his premium plays over at TonySports.com by clicking the link in the description. Clippers and Timberwolves says go ahead and take the 1.5 here with Minnesota. All right, let's continue on here on our NBA rundown here. Every game on the board here by Joseph Schultz. He does every night here during NBA season. Let's continue on here on the rundown as we're ready to look at the next game here on the board. And it will feature here the Detroit Pistons here on the road facing Orlando Magic. We see the Magic a 10.5 point favorite, total 219.5.
Anyone who's been following me for any time knows that I've been talking about the Pistons as double-digit underdogs, and we've been cashing with them. It's been an ATM machine. The last time they were double-digit underdogs, they won straight out against the Bulls by 10 points. Now, Orlando is a much better team than the Bulls, and they're playing well, winning 4 out of their last 5. This will also be their 3rd straight home game. That's typically a spot where I like to back a team when they've been at home for a handful of games. Orlando will also have the slight rest advantage and is relatively healthy. Orlando has beaten them 3 straight times. So, again, in theory, it could be looked at as a triple revenge spot for the Pistons. But I think we've ridden that Pistons double-digit dog trend enough, and I think it's time to hop off. I'd rather hop off of something like that 1 game too early than 1 game too late. I like the Magic in this game, laying the points.
All right, Joseph. So Schultz, find his best bets over at TonySpace.com. Find a link to the description. Get to his profile page. Pistons and Magic says go ahead and lay the points here with the Orlando Magic. 10.5 in this one. All right, let's continue on here. NBA rundown here for action on Sunday. We're ready to roll here with the next one up. It is the Charlotte Hornets on the road facing Toronto. Toronto laying 8 here, total 225.
Charlotte's just 1-4 in their last 5 games, while Toronto is 3-2 in their last 5, losing to two good teams in respectable fashion. Toronto has had Charlotte's number, winning 4 out of 5 against them. I actually like Toronto's lineup. Jakob Poeltl is a good big. Kelly Olynyk can stretch the floor. Being a Knicks fan, I'm very aware of how good Quickly and Barrett can play at times. They've been revelations for the Raptors, especially Barrett, who has really taken off since being traded. You know, we all know he's from Canada, so I'm sure that has something to do with it, a sense of pride. They do. They are without Scotty Barnes, their best player. He's got a hand injury. But I'm gonna roll with. I'm gonna still roll the with the Raptors with guys like Quickly and Barrett on the team. Charlotte has given up on the season long ago, so it's Toronto or nothing for me here.
All right, Joseph Schultz, find his premium plays over at TonySports.com. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save 20% off his packages. Hornets and Raptors, Joseph says, go ahead and lay the 8 here with Toronto. All right, let's continue here on the NBA rundown. Next up, we've got these Indiana Pacers here on the road to face San Antonio. The Pacers are road favorites 6.5 with a total of 244.5.
The Spurs have won just 1 out of the last 5 games, but they've covered in 4 out of 5, including against the West leading Timberwolves and who I think will end up in first place in the West, the Thunder. Also teams like the Lakers and the Kings, who are respectable in their own right. This will be their second straight home game, and it will actually be a revenge spot, having lost to Indy the last time they played by 39 points back November 6th. San Antonio is a good cover team in the first half. Now, I don't know if I said this on this show, and I won't go too deep into it, but just really quickly, I have a theory on that. I think Popovich is coaching in the first half as if how he normally coaches, like he wants to win, and that is to develop players and put some confidence into the players who are going to be there for the foreseeable future. However, they're trying to maximize their draft pick too. So I think when it gets closer to the end of the game in the second half, that's where he's not, throwing games or anything, but that's where the lineups are kind of a little fishy, and they just somehow always seem to play well but not win the game. So if you did, those of you that do like the Spurs in this spot, and I could understand why, I would isolate that to the first half. Now, this is a tough call for me. This is a game, I'm going to be honest, that I'm going to sit back, take notes for future handicapping.
All right, there you go. Just looked like not a play here from Joseph here in this one at Pacers and the Spurs, a game that he just says just too close to the number side or total. All right, let's continue here on the rundown. We'll get your next play for here as we move here the chain. So we've got the team that you like, the Knicks. As a fan, we'll find out if we like it in this game to the spread. Knicks and Cavaliers going head to head here with the Cavs laying 5, total 212.5.
All right. Well, the schedule makers have done no favors in this recent stretch for the Knicks, playing Boston, Pelicans, Golden State in the last 3 out of 4 games. And now they have to face the Cavs, another really good team. This is an extremely important game for both teams. The Cavs are 4.5 games up on the Knicks for the second seed. We know that Milwaukee's in the mix also, but they're still just 4.5 out of second place. I think Milwaukee ends up getting that, just side note. But this will be no easy task for the Knicks. To leave Madison Square Garden, where they played their last 4 games, and play the Cavs in Cleveland. The Cavs are 20-10 straight up on the season at home. Now, the Knicks have won and covered in 4 out of 5 games versus the Cavs, but looking at the dates of those games, those were games where Randall was healthy and Quickly and Barrett were still on the team. So I don't think that is really going to help them in any sort of way. I don't think that tells the story of this game. They will, thank God, have Brunson back. He was back. He missed the game, but he was back last game versus the Warriors. Played 37 minutes, so he'll be a full go. I have no worries about him. Obviously, they'll still be without Randall, Mitchell, and Anunoby. Donovan Mitchell missed the Cavs last game versus Detroit with knee soreness. But I think, and he's questionable for this game, but I think that was more of a case of the Cavs thinking that they were going to rest him in one of these games and that they had more of a chance of beating the Pistons, and they rather have him ready for the Knicks. The same could probably be said for Karis LeVert with his elbow. I don't know how serious that is. I think maybe that was just a rest spot. The Cavs were red hot prior to the break, winning 10 out of 11, but they lost their first two games after the break. And then the game after the third game, they nearly lost to the Wizards. I think they ended up winning that game by like 8 or 9 points. But if you watch that game, they could have lost that game. That break definitely broke or slowed their momentum, and they are in a fade spot playing their first game home after a 4-game road trip. This isn't my most confident pick of the day, but with the Knicks still missing so many key guys, but I'll take the 5 points with the Knicks in a revenge spot and Cleveland playing the first game at home in 5 games.
All right, Joseph Schultz, find his premium plays over at TonySpace.com. His best bet, you'll find a link to his page in our description at TonySpace.com. Knicks and Cavaliers. Yes, he does. He likes the Knicks here at +5. All right, let's continue on here on our NBA rundown here for Sunday's action. Next up, to close out the card here, a lot of TV games tonight. ESPN, ABC getting in on the act here. We've got the Thunder and the Suns going head-to-head here. Line now here, we're using DK book. I'm seeing this one as we opened here. I'm seeing some 2s in some place, but the DK has it here at 4.5, total 234.
Did you see 2s?
Offshore, I've seen some 2s, but
oh wow,
4.5, I think is the going number right now.
Yeah. Let me run to the bank and get some money. Oh my God, I would love this at 2. I love it at 4.5, and I think it's going up. So OKC is just a half a game out of the number 1 seed that they so covet, right? SGA is making his claim for the MVP. This is a young, healthy team that's just going all out. They're throwing caution to the wind sometimes even. The Suns are just 2-3 straight up and 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. They're inconsistent and they're underperforming everything that OKC is not. OKC is 4-1 both straight up and against the spread in their last 5. To me, this is the easiest handicap of the day. OKC will be out for blood after losing surprisingly straight up against the Spurs as 11-point favorites last game. I love OKC in the bounce-back spot. It's probably the play today.
All right, here we go. Joseph Schultz, get his premium plays over at TonySpace.com. Thunder and Suns in this one. He likes OKC, Oklahoma City, laying the 4.5. All right, we got through this NBA rundown here from Joseph Schultz here. All the plays here on this 8-game card here from the NBA. All right, Joseph, you are the top unit producer over at TonySpace.com. I'd like to show this to everybody here. If you go down to the leaderboard 2.0, and all you have to do here is just hit this bar that shows 2004. You can see the great performances from Joseph this year. Also, 2023, about 3,000 units of profit. Top unit producer the past 2 years at TonySpace.com. You do the math, that's approaching 6,000 units of profit in just the 14 months. Outstanding performance. Nobody in this industry is doing those kind of numbers. If you go to these type of websites that are documented where you can see the records, you're not going to find a capper in this. Over 6,000 units of profit here over the last 14 months is about an absolute fire. All right, Joseph, we got NBA on the board here. Some college hoops as well. What do you have going over at TonySpace.com for Sunday's action?
Well, what I'm going to do for everyone who's watching this is, I think I kind of gave it away already, but I'm going to just for free tell you my favorite play of the day, because full transparency, and there's no shame behind this because I've absolutely been killing it. Today I went 1-3, and it would have been a 2-2 day if Memphis didn't. It was such a bad beat. They were up by like 7 with 2 minutes left and ended up losing in overtime, and that's okay. It happens. But I'm gonna anyone who tailed me, I want to give you a free pick right here and take Oklahoma City right now minus the 4.5. But besides that, we have the 3-day packages, the weekly, the monthly, and the whole year. Obviously, the bigger package you get, the more value there is. However, if you get the smaller packages, there are profits with that. Now, I will be putting out a strong 3-pack that will not include the OKC play that I just gave right now.
That's right, guys. Get over with Joseph Schultz over at TonySpace.com. You can see the numbers here: 2,720 units of profit for 2024. All document over at over at TonySpace.com. Also, too, for the year 2023, about 3,000 units of profit. So you can see top performer here. Past 14 months, approaching 6,000 units of profit. Joseph Schultz has been on absolute fire. Go ahead and get that long-term pass. If you want to try them out for the one-day pass, you can do that. Remember, the one-day pass is profit guarantee, must turn a profit. The amount you purchase is credit back to your account for site credits. That is profit guarantee. The long-term passes aren't, because they're sold at such a discount. Also, we're going to add a discount here when you use that promo code TonyT to check out on any of the packages out there. You can access Joseph's page by clicking the link in the description. Click the All Cappers tab. Go ahead and get signed up. All right, Joseph, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that great success. Make it a winning Sunday, and we'll catch up with you for Monday's games.
All right, Tony. I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Joseph Schultz here on the NBA Rundown. I'm Tony T. We'll catch you guys next time.